What is a resource? Any type of material and form of energy that we use for living our life, for making it easy and comfortable, can be called as a resource. However, it is necessary that the materials or energy is technologically available and economically viable. We use different minerals as raw materials in various industries. These materials existed as earth materials since they were formed. However, these remained as unutilized resources. They became resources only after the appropriate technology was developed. Similarly, the biogas that we use as energy resource existed since long, but it became a resource only when the technology to use it was developed. The resources that we obtain from nature are called natural resources. Using these, we may get involved in developing some facilities such as power generation, industries, transport, etc. Such facilities may be considered as man-made resources. The natural resources that will be discussed in this chapter are land, water, soil, forest, and minerals. While discussing each of these natural resources, we will make a note of their typical characteristics. Land resources and land use in Maharashtra. In this section, we shall be discussing the land resources and land use in Maharashtra. Total area of Maharashtra state is 3,07,580 square kilometers. Agriculture claims maximum proportion of the resources. Hence, we shall discuss the availability of land resources in the state with reference to agriculture. The availability of land for agriculture depends on the relief and slope of the land. Its utility for agriculture largely depends on rainfall and soil conditions. Here are the maps from the previous chapter that give information on physiography, drainage, and rainfall of Maharashtra. These maps give us some idea about the constraint of using the land resource, particularly for agriculture. Land of Konkan and the Western Ghats has high relief and steep slope. This limits the availability of land for agriculture. In the eastern parts of Maharashtra, the availability of land for agriculture is less because of the competition with other uses such as forest and mining activity. Central Maharashtra receives low rainfall. Although this does not directly restrict the availability of land, its usability for agriculture gets considerably reduced. The areas of floodplains of the major rivers in the states like Tapi, Godavari, Vardha-Venganga, Bhima and Krishna are the regions having better land resource potentials as far as the agriculture is concerned. Land use. The term land use relates to the purpose to which land in a given region is put to use. We can have general land use, urban land use, agricultural land use, etc. Forest, agriculture, settlement, industrial estates, etc. are some of the purposes considered in general land use of region. The use of land for these different purposes in a region and the extent of land used for each of these purposes define the pattern of land use in any region. Net sown area. In Maharashtra, 56.6% land area is used for agriculture and is known as cultivated land. Physical setup, climate, soil, irrigation facilities, gradient of area affect the land under cultivation. Western Maharashtra and Vidarbha has 70% area under cultivation. In Konkan and eastern Vidarbha areas, gradient is steep and land is covered by forests. Hence, the areas under cultivation are relatively low. Due to increasing population and urbanization, agricultural land around urban area is shrinking. Areas under forest. Average annual rainfall in Maharashtra is 1000 millimeters. Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Raigad, Thane, Gadchiroli, Chandrapur, Bhandara, Gondia districts of Maharashtra receive rainfall more than 1000 millimeters. On the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats, particularly western parts of Nasik, Pune, Satara, Sangli, Kolhapur districts have significant areas under forests. Forests in central Maharashtra are very limited due to low rainfall. These areas are under drought-prone zones. In the same areas, land used for agriculture is more due to the flat surface. For the environmental balance in any of the region, minimum areas under forest should be 33% of the total land. However, in Maharashtra, the area under forest is only 17%. Special efforts are taken by the government to increase the areas under forest, like Social Forestry Program. Non-agricultural use of land. The land which is not used for agriculture or some specific purpose is known as non-agricultural use of land. Land is particularly used for residential and settlement purpose. There is rapid growth in industrialization and urbanization in Maharashtra. The percentage of non-agricultural land is increasing. Fallow lands. The lands that can never be used for cultivation are called permanent fallows. Due to heavy downpour, topsoil layer gets removed and land becomes permanently unsuitable for cultivation. Similarly, some areas turn into marshy lands due to waterlogging. Particularly, Khar land in Konkan coastal region is a good example of permanent fallows. Large portion of cultivation area in Maharashtra totally depends on rainfall. In a year, if rainfall is not adequate for sowing, land is not cultivated. Such lands are termed fallow lands. Efforts are required to bring such land under cultivation if irrigation is made available. Similarly, these lands can be used for fruit gardening or forestry plantation.